All right, hello everybody. Today we're having a very special shiur, a unique shiur. First of all, in memory of my grandfather, Rav Ben Bachmal, but also tonight is going to be a very special yortzeit, Zayin Adar, for the Nishmat of Moshe Rabbeinu, Ben Amram, Ve'yocheved, Alav Shalom. This is our Rebbe, Moshe Rabbeinu. We call him all the time, Moshe Rabbeinu, our Rebbe, our Rabbi. Everything that he taught us, not only the Torah, but also the Midot. And the most important Midot of all is to be humble. We know that there are 4 exiles. The first one was Babel. The first exile is Babel. The second one is Madai Paras. That's a Purim story. The third one is Yavan, the Greeks. And the fourth one is Romi. In Hebrew we call it Romi. The 4th exile. Okay? Now, the Chachamim explain, at least I got this from Rav Shaket Bohadana, 6 years ago lecture. He says something very powerful. In whose merit were we redeemed from the first exile? In the merit of Abraham Avinu. In whose merit were we redeemed from Madai and Paras? Yitzchak. In whose merit were we redeemed in the Greek Empire? Yaakov Avinu. And the 4th empire, the Roman Empire, which actually still we are in the Galut, in the exile, and whose merit will be redeemed Be'ezrat Hashem? In the merit of Moshe Rabbeinu. So Moshe Rabbeinu comes down and he says, I want to redeem you, I want to take you out. However, he's looking at the majority of the Jewish people and he's seeing that they're not fulfilling his commandments that he taught us on Har Sinai and throughout the whole 40 years of the desert. Are you learning Torah? Are you loving the mitzvot? Are you doing whatever you can? So he looks around and he sees that the people are not doing the fullest potential. So he says, how could I take you guys out? How could I take you guys out? So Moshe Rabbeinu comes and every single time he comes down and he says, I want to take you guys out, but I don't see the learning. I don't see the connection. And also interesting, now this week's parasha, we also have a Parashat Tetzaveh. Let's try to make a small connection. In Parashat Tetzaveh, how ironic that Moshe Rabbeinu's name is not even mentioned. So even though his name is not mentioned, but at least his yortzeit is in this week. Moshe Rabbeinu's name is not mentioned at all. Moshe Rabbeinu, we know, is also a Levi, from the tribe of Levi. His brother Aaron became the Kohen. He became the Kohen Gadol. When did he become the Kohen Gadol? Only after the Mishkan was built, after the inauguration, after the Yimei Miluim, 7 days of Miluim, and then Rosh Chodesh Nisan, Aaron becomes the Kohen Gadol. That means, up to now what we were learning, Moshe Rabbeinu was an acting Kohen Gadol. Not an actual, but an acting Kohen Gadol for the first days of the Miluim. Some commentaries even say that as long as Moshe Rabbeinu was a leader of the Jewish nation, until Aaron became Kohen Gadol, Moshe Rabbeinu was the Kohen Gadol. Not just for 7 days, even the times before that. So Moshe Rabbeinu has a very holy and high position. And this position was transferred over to his brother Aaron. During this time period in Parashat Tetzaveh, it talks about the Bigdei Kehuna, the clothing of the Kohen Gadol. How many clothing does the Kohen Gadol have? 8 special garments. And these special garments is 4 more than the regular Kohen. The Kohen Gadol has 8 special garments. I want to focus on one of the items, the Me'il. The Me'il is the robe. On the bottom of the robe, the Kohen Gadol used to walk around in the Beit HaMikdash, and just not to scare everybody, there was bells. Now, if you're walking around, 1 or 2 bells is enough, but no. Hashem says in this week's parsha to make sure you have 72 bells, and inside the bells there's rimonim. So it's like a little clatter. Okay. So there are exactly 72 bells. Why was it so important to know that there is 72 bells on the Me'il? And the Me'il represents what? Each one of the items of the Kohen Gadol, each one of the items was a tikkun to fix some negative thing. The negative thing that represents, or that the Me'il fixes, is Lashon Hara. The Avera of Lashon Hara was so severe that in the time of the Beit HaMikdash, after the first Beit HaMikdash was destroyed, the Jewish people got back 70 years later. Even though they did 3 cardinal sins, Hilula, and Avodah Zarah. As bad as it was, we came back 70 years later. We came back after the Madayim Paras, in the merit of Yitzchak. However, after the second Beit HaMikdash was destroyed, which was destroyed because of Sinat Chinam, hatred, baseless hatred, and Lashon Hara, which is, for what are you making fun of somebody else? For no reason. No personal gain, no personal pleasure. We're still suffering till today. So the specific clothing of the Kohen Gadol, of the Me'il, represents that. Why? Because the Me'il, just like a person who says Lashon Hara, is like a little bird and chatters away and starts gossiping and starts talking to everybody, and one to another, another to another, and before you know it, there's a lot of people that are misunderstanding the story, the original story, and they misinterpret everything, and then you cannot get it back. So the Me'il, the robe, represents what? The concept of not to say Lashon Hara. The robe was one unit, and on the bottom there was bells. Sometimes the bells was supposed to alert another person that I'm coming, I'm entering. If you're doing anything wrong, stop. That's what it means. But this also represents an ability for us to understand that why specifically do I need 72? Why do I need 72 bells? 72 represents the number, the word chesed, kindness. Moshe Rabbeinu was the epitome of kindness. He was the epitome of humbleness. Moshe Rabbeinu represents what? Whatever you want to do to somebody else, don't do it. If there was a mistake, he wants to improve it, he wants to fix it. In this week's parasha, there's also parasha Zachor. What Amalek wanted to do, remember what he did, and don't forget what Amalek did. So what does Moshe Rabbeinu come into the picture? And he says the same thing. Remember the Torah, and don't forget the Torah. You want me to come back? You want the Roman exile to be completed, to be finished? You don't want Galut anymore? No problem. Remember the Torah, and don't forget the Torah. Remember it all the days of your life. Remember it throughout the day. And when you're about to sleep, also don't forget. Don't forget who's in front of you. Don't forget the spiritual energy that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem, is always watching you. Moshe Rabbeinu, all he wants is what? He wants to give us the constant blessing. He's guiding us, and he's telling us exactly what to do. So when we're learning Torah, when we're learning the Gemara, we're actually improving his neshama, and he is giving us blessing. And in the zechut of lighting a candle tonight for Moshe Rabbeinu, or in the memory of learning for Moshe Rabbeinu, just learning any piece of Torah, any Devar Torah that Moshe Rabbeinu said and he did, is only going to improve him, his neshama, and his elevation. He doesn't need to be elevated. What good can I do for him? Actually, the more you give, there's the energy. The energy is always going to continue to bounce back at you. And Be'ezrat Hashem, through this merit, we all should learn. Should learn with enthusiasm. Should learn with love. And get other people to learn more. Because Moshe Rabbeinu already wants to come. Moshe Rabbeinu wants to build a Beit HaMikdash. Moshe Rabbeinu wants the Shekhinah to come down forever and ever. And this is exactly how, ironically, in this week's parsha, even though Moshe Rabbeinu's name is not mentioned, but his Yortzeit is in this week's parsha. Hazak Baruch everybody. Have a good day.